On behalf of the Ministry of International Trade and Industry Malaysia, we thank you for being able to join us today in what is a historic moment for Malaysia. Our event will begin in half an hour's time.
We're awaiting the arrival of the Honorable Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, and before we commence, I'd like to seek your kind cooperation to observe the following. We request that all mobile phones be switched off or placed in silent mode. And while we're delighted for all of you to record or photograph the event all you want, hashtag MyAPEC 2020, we would ask that you remain seated and ensure that you do not obstruct the view of the other guests, especially the media during the event.
As the Prime Minister enters the ballroom, we seek your kind cooperation to rise and remain standing until the Prime Minister is seated.
As our event is about to start, we'd like to request that all guests kindly take your seats inside the Chindai Ballroom. We'd like to inform you that the Honorable Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has just arrived at the lobby. This is a rehearsal. He's now making his way to the APEC garden, where he'll be joined by 20 ambassadors, high commissioners, and representatives of the APEC member economies. The Prime Minister will be standing in the exact same spot that he stood 22 years ago, and with 20 other APEC member economies, reminiscent of the APEC family photo that was taken in 1998. We invite you to witness this live on screen. Announcing the arrival of the Honorable Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad, Prime Minister of Malaysia, accompanied by the Minister of International Trade and Industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please kindly remain standing for our national anthem, the Negaraku.
Thank you. You may now be seated.
We shall begin with a prayer recital led by Ustaz Haji Iqbal Zaidi bin Hashim, Imam Besar, Putrajaya Mosque. Thank you, Ustaz Haji Iqbal Zaidi bin Hashim. The Honorable Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad, Prime Minister of Malaysia, the Honorable Dr. Darrell Lai King, Minister of International Trade and Industry, Cabinet Ministers of Malaysia, Honorable Chief Minister of Sabah, Deputy Ministers, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and selamat datang to the launching ceremony of Malaysia as the host of the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC 2020. Now, before we commence, allow me to briefly introduce ourselves. My name is Terrance.
And I'm Ethan.
She's 11, the youngest person in the room, and a future leader of tomorrow. Come on, show some APEC love.
Thank you.
So, Ethan, I thought it appropriate just before we get started to pick the brains of an 11-year-old and ask you what you think the moment you hear APEC.
Well, Uncle Terrance, what I think about APEC is when all the leaders gather to create a better world for everyone.
That's very aptly put, and at 11, I must admit, I did not know even that. But let's take you back in time some 22 years ago, where this is a historic event simply because 22 years ago, when I was around your age, APEC was first hosted here in Malaysia.
Well, 22 years later, when APEC comes back to Malaysia, I will be your age, and I will be Auntie Ethan, and I will be hosting with another future leader.
That's right. It all comes around full circle. But the iconic part about this event is the fact that 22 years ago, and even today, there is a stark similarity in the fact that we have the very same Prime Minister in the Honorable Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad.
Interestingly, this venue was built for APEC meetings.
That's right. So let's put some more meat on that bone that we kind of put together for you earlier. Now, APEC stands for the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, and it's a regional economic forum established in 1989 to facilitate trade and economic cooperation within the Asia Pacific community. This year marks 30 years of APEC's existence. The 21-member grouping aims to create greater prosperity for the people of the region by promoting balanced, inclusive, sustainable, innovative, and secure growth, and by accelerating regional economic integration.
Without further ado, I would like to invite the Honorable Dato Daryl Liking, Minister of International Trade and Industry Malaysia, to give his welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Minister. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great pleasure to invite the Honorable Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, to deliver his officiating address. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. I would like to kindly request that you remain on stage and invite the Honorable Minister and Deputy Minister of MITI to kindly join the Prime Minister at the launch podium. May I now invite the Honorable Prime Minister, Minister and Deputy Minister to place their hands on the launch pad on a count of 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister, Minister, and Deputy Minister. We invite you to return to your seats and enjoy the launch sequence.
Presenting to you APEC 2020 in Malaysia. With the launch, we're now officially ready to receive the APEC delegates to Malaysia, starting with the informal senior officials meeting in Langkawi on the 9th of December 2019.
Welcome to Malaysia, the host of My APEC 2020. With that, we have come to the end of the launching ceremony. I would like to invite the Honorable Prime Minister, MITI Minister, and Deputy Minister for the press conference in Sita Ballroom.
We'd also like to invite the Chief Secretary to the Government of Malaysia and the APEC Secretariat Executive Director to join the press conference at the Cheetah Ballroom. Representatives of the APEC member economies, Cabinet Ministers, Chief Minister, Deputy Ministers, and Secretary Generals in attendance are kindly invited to the Kama Lounge for refreshments. For all remaining guests, please kindly join us at the Veranda Restaurant for your refreshments. Thank you once again, everyone, for joining us here today.
It has been a pleasure being your Master of Ceremony at this historic event.
Once again, I'm Terrance.
And I'm Izan, and we look forward to meeting you again soon.
Terima kasih.
And have a wonderful